How's it going, guys? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to convert your Cycloid LC into a ZippyLucha by installing the Kershaw Lucha blade onto the Zippy Cycloid LC handles. So first, take the 2mm hex key that is included in the kit or a similar tool and unscrew the pivots. I like to do one handle at a time. Keeps everything a little more organized. So let's go ahead and remove that. And I'm just going to dump out all of the bearings, and also what you'll see is there's going to be a washer on either side of the channel, and those need to come out. So you can take some kind of sharp pointy thing. A paper clip might work. I'm using a pick from a gun cleaning set, and just push these out. You might need to go in from the other side. Yeah, it's a little easier if you go in from the pivot side. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this tool to pop out the polyurethane nut from the other side of the handle here. And let's go ahead and remove this. All right, so we just removed the washers from the handles. Let's set those aside. Now let's go ahead and remove the washers from the Cycloid blade. We're going to keep the washers separate because it does matter which are which. You'll notice the washers on the blade are marked with this black Sharpie, and that is intentional so you can tell them apart. What we're going to do is we're going to take these washers that are marked with the black Sharpie, the ones that were in the Cycloid blade, and we're going to put those at the bottom of the handle, and then we're going to take a non-black Sharpie washer and put those on top. And I'll repeat that for the other side. The washers that were in the blade with the black Sharpie go into the handle first, and then we're going to put the other washer on top, and it should snap into place. And you'll notice that when I install the washers, the milled groove, the raceway, is facing out towards the blade on either side. All right, now let's go ahead and take the Zen pins out of the kit that are included with the Cycloid LC, and we're gonna pick one up with pliers. We're gonna bend the handles apart so we can fit the Zen pin in, line it up with the hole next to the pivots, and push the handles together. Just like that. All right, so let's go ahead and put the bearings on either side of the blade. You can see each bearing has a smooth side and this hollow side. I'm putting the smooth side towards the blade, and then I'm just snapping them into the handle like that. All right, so here's where we are. Let's go ahead and put that polyurethane nut back, the one that we popped out. And now we'll put the pivot back in and tighten it. And I'm going to tighten it until I feel a medium to stiff resistance. You should just start to see this top of the screw touch the other side. Everything should be nice and flush though. So let's just, you can see I tightened it too much. So let's go ahead and back the screw out a little. And we're gonna back the screw out until you're happy with the level of handle swing. You can see I over-tightened it quite a bit. Keep loosening. It's still a little tight. All right, the swing feels a lot better. Let's go ahead and check the play. You shouldn't feel any play. It doesn't have to be perfect right now. We're gonna redo this after we lubricate it. Let's move on to the next handle. I'm going to unscrew the pivot, remove the pivot, remove the blade, dump the bearings from the handles. We'll start with removing this polyurethane nut by popping it out from the opposite side. And then we'll use the Allen key to pop out the washers, just like that. The washers from the handles can be set aside. We'll remove the washers from the blade now. And the washers from the blade will be placed inside the handles. First, we'll go one at a time. I just took a washer from the blade. It's at the bottom of the handle. Now, one of the unmarked washers goes on top. Now we'll flip it over and do the other side. I'm taking one of the Sharpie marked washers that was in the blade, putting it in the handle first, and then one of the unmarked washers on top with the milled groove, the raceway, facing towards the blade on both sides. Now we'll add the bearings to the blade. And I actually almost forgot a step. You're gonna definitely wanna add the Zen pin first. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna bend the sides of the handle apart, line up the Zen pin with the holes in the handles, and then squeeze it tight. And now I'll take the bearings, put them in the blade, and push that onto the handle, just like that. Now let's go ahead and pop the polyurethane nut in and pop the pivot in. And now we're gonna tighten this pivot down. Cool. At this point, let's go ahead and add some lubricant. I like to do it from the open position. There are these two holes on either side of the handle in the open position, perfectly sized for a needle tip applicator, and you can just squeeze a bit of lubricant each side. The other way to add lubricant to a Lucha is by going in through the hole in the horn, like so. And once you have lubricated each bearing, you can just do some opens and closes to distribute the lubricant evenly as everything's flying around. All right, now let's go ahead and make sure we're happy with the swing. You should feel no pivot wiggle. There should be no play at the pivots. You might feel plastic flex, but the tune itself should be very tight. And you should have good handle swing on either handle. So now that you've added the blade to the handles, it's time to adjust the balance. Let's go ahead and remove one of the spacers. I'm going to take a cloth, grab the bottom of the spacer, wiggle while pulling it out, and then I'm going to angle it out. So the motion was wiggle, 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 angle it out, and it should pop right out. The Cycloid LC ships with 7 of these balls installed, but you can add up to 4 more. I highly recommend adding more and seeing what suits your preference. The last 4 balls that can fit into each spacer pop into the bottom. These have the most leverage and therefore add the most handle bias. So you can I just added 2. You can add up to 4 down there. So you'll want to play around with it, see how many you want to add. Some of you will want all of the weights in, some of you won't. It's entirely personal preference. I'm going to go ahead and remove one of those and pop it back in, and then you can repeat the procedure on the other spacer and dial in the balance you want. Anyway, you just successfully converted your Cycloid LC into a ZippyLucha. Thanks for watching, guys.